Hello everyone, this is Fighter Fight Gaming, I'm Draxus, and welcome to This Book is a Dungeon. This dungeon is a book. So this is apparently a Lovecraftian game. Okay. Start from the beginning. Tick, 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 tick. You remember a time when you used to steal aching glances at the clock, praying for the strike of the merciful hour that would finally set you free. Temporarily released from the shackles of the tiresome workday, you'd eagerly rush home, shed your work clothes like a burdensome second skin, and flit off into the night to join friends for merriment and mischief. Those days are gone. The shift came on slowly at first. Sharp pains, dizziness, restlessness, insomnia. But as even more unsettling changes tightened their grip within you, it became clear something was very wrong. Poked, prodded, examined, analyzed, a battery of tests, a gauntlet of medical pummeling and anxious uncertainty, and then the waiting. When the call finally came, you already knew the answer before the words rolled off the lips, rasping away on the other end of the line. Lost in an echo chamber, your mind parsed only snippets of the doctor's news, the ones that stung the most. It's terminal. A year left to live. Maybe 2 at best. I'm so sorry. And then you're alone. Now time is your enemy, siphoning away the last view with every passing moment, draining the light, the color from your world, leaving an empty shell of aching hopelessness and dark anticipation in its wake. The clacking of keyboards, ringing of phones, and casual banter of clueless co-workers is a steady ache. It rakes at the frayed corners, pulls at the tattered edges of your weary mind. And the appointed hour has arrived. It dampens the din, if only for a short while. Tomorrow is another day, for them at least. For you, possibly. You linger for just a minute longer, letting the eager parade filter through the exit. The last to leave, you close up, lock the door, and pull your overcoat tight around you. A spitting mist turns to a downpour well before you reach the dry sanctuary of the putrid subway entrance. The stairs are a descent into unpleasant smells and hustled near misses, as bustling crowds crush together to get to and from their mundane 9-to-5s. For a moment, you miss that simplicity of routine, the promise of continuance. Standing at the edge of the platform, you look down at the electrified tracks. Wind picks up in the tunnel, signaling the rapidly approaching train. Your mind wanders. You imagine what it would be like to be caught on the tracks right as the train comes barreling through at 60 miles per hour. Death is a beacon, drawing you ever closer. It swirls and dances on the sparking steel girders below. It teases and taunts, only inches away. Come to me, whispers the siren call. It's not time yet. It's not yet time. You take a few steps back from the yellow line. 20 minutes feels like an eternity in the packed subway car. Damp, sweaty, exhaustion and regret mixed with promise and delusion. A wagon full of cattle, oblivious, tuned out, numb. Stop by stop, the opening and closing of the doors thins the herd. It's a welcome culling, a shifting of space, a loosening of knots. Soon you're the last, and you can breathe easy again. But you still scan the car with a quick glance out of habit. One last time to make sure you're truly alone. Except you're not quite alone. There's a small leather satchel sitting on an empty seat in the far corner of the car. You glance around again, not trusting your wary eyes. There's still not a living soul save your own. The handrail is sticky with grime from the clutch of 1,000 dirty fingers, filthy. You wince at its touch, but it offers stability as you work your way to the other end of the car towards the orphan's satchel. Where did its owner go? The bag is weathered and worn. Some tired soul will no doubt be missing its contents, you gather. A high-pitched whine pierces the air as the car rocks and rattles. The lights flicker. 32nd Street. It's your stop. Time to go. Do you take the bag or do you leave it there? Take the bag. You instinctively reach out and swipe the bag, figuring it's better off in your hands than left to wander the dark tunnels inside a giant metal beast alone. Thick, stale underground air turns cool and damp as you emerge from the city's high-speed intestines and hit the noisy streets above. 340 steps later, you're at the door of your second-story apartment, fumbling the keys, muttering under your breath. The lock finally gives way. Peeling off your soaked coat, you drop everything on the table, kick off your shoes, and check your answering machine. You have no new messages, no surprises there. Ignoring the pile of unwashed dishes and the empty fridge, you sidle back to the table and remember the bag. Inside the bag, you find an old book. The book is aged and weathered. Its cover is adorned with an ominous skeletal being that looks half human, half serpent, and the title is written in a language you don't have the tongue to decipher. Open the book. Unlocking the old book, you open the cover and flip through dusty pages. The book appears to be blank. How odd. Flip to the first page. The frail pages seem brittle to the touch, as if they're in danger of crumbling into nothingness, yet your fingers resonate with an unknown energy. Flip to a random page. You flip to a random page and find nothing. Are your eyes playing tricks on you, or did you see the faint glimmer of words fading from view just now? Flip to the last page. Turn to the last page, nothing. Flip to the first page. The frail pages seem brittle to the touch, as if they're in danger of crumbling into nothingness. Your fingers resonate with an unknown energy. Flip to the last page. First page. Random page. First page. Resonate with an unknown energy. Last page. Flip to a random page. Flip to another random page. Flipping through the pages, a faint flicker of ink catches your eye. Flip back several pages to try and find it. After much searching, you uncover a page that sports a faint drawing of a keyhole, sketched in pencil. You instinctively reach out a finger and trace it over the drawing. A sudden sharp pain, a paper cut, spurs you to pull your hand away quickly. Looking down, you notice the keyhole sketch has changed into a fanged serpent. Spots of your blood dot the page. The room swims. You feel faint and disoriented. Your vision goes blank as you hit the floor. A sharp impact slams your temple. It sends a raw heat burning through your consciousness. Then, empty space. You fall through the black void, erasing the past, erasing the future. Only the present. What is happening? Where am I? Who am I? What is this darkness eating away inside me? That's probably cancer. And then a light. You awaken in a small chamber, illuminated by the light of a single flickering torch resting in a sconce at the far wall. The sharp throb pulsing behind your eyes fades quickly, but an unpleasant chill is creeping in. You notice words scratched into the stone floor. This distance, the torchlight is too dim to make out what they say. You grab the torch from the wall sconce and take comfort in the subtle warmth it breathes across your face. You can now get a better look at your surroundings. Holding the torch close to the floor, you can clearly see the inscription carved there. It reads, Chapter 1. Why the Walls Bleed. A heavy wooden door to the south appears to be the only way in or out of this pit. The door creaks and shudders open as you strain against its weight. You find yourself in a larger stone room that's cavernous and empty. The echoing sound of water droplets comes from a passage to the west. You catch a whiff of something familiar, something out of place. Is that? You also notice another passageway to the east, as well as the door you just came through. Is that citrus? Let's head west. The narrow corridor opens into a dead-end room that reeks of over-ripened fruit. You're blasted with the sweet, pungent odor which nearly overpowers you. Looking around, you notice a viscous reddish substance draining out of several large, round holes in the walls. This mysterious fluid drips down on a slow, syrupy cascade, collecting in stone basins carved along the base of the wall. The only exit is through the passage you came in, to the east. Let's check out this red substance. The sweet odor is emanating from this odd liquid. You decide to leave it alone for now. Exit through the passageway to the east. Let's head east. Further passing into the unknown depths, your eyes play tricks in the torchlight. What lurks in the darkness ahead, skittering away just beyond the glow of your torch? As you round the corner, you notice a small alcove in the passageway here. The corridor continues to the east. The northern passage leads around the corner and back to the west. Okay. Check out the alcove. There's a large crack in the wall of the alcove. It's not big enough for you to squeeze through. Who knows what could be in there? Reach into the hole. You reach into the crack and find a crude mechanical switch. Do you activate the switch? Yes. You hear the rumble of grinding stone further ahead from the corridor to the east. Okay. Let's head east. At the end of this passageway, a section of wall is shifted to reveal a hidden alcove. As you approach, the torch held high, you see a monstrous form emerge from the darkness, lumbering towards you. It attacks. Fight to survive or flee for your life. Fight. You encounter a sight cluster. Attack. You damage the sight cluster. The sight cluster is injured and prepares to strike. Sight cluster damages you. Your injuries are superficial. The battle continues. Attack. Manage to dodge the sight cluster attack. Attack. Lots of dodging. Damage it. Attack. I have slain the sight cluster. You survive the encounter. You absorb the blood of your fallen adversary and feel invigorated. I absorb the blood? Okay. Passageway extends to the west and the north. Let's head north. A pile of bones and skulls lay scattered across a large stone slab in the center of the chamber. Along the far wall, a series of sharp hooks dangle from the ceiling by chains. It is clear that much suffering befell the poor souls who met their fate in this place. Smears of their dried blood, now darkened with time and decay, paint a macabre scene. Passageway extends to the west. The southern door opens into a long hallway. Okay, let's check out the pile of bones. The bones have been picked clean and show markings of being gnawed on. Notice 2 human skulls amidst the remains. Being compelled to sift through someone else's remains, you poke around the bone heap. Find an old rusty knife. Okay. So I have a rusty knife now. Let's check out the sharp hooks. You imagine what it might feel like being strung up on one of these rusty things hooked into your guts, waiting to be eaten alive. Then you banish the thought from your mind. Pile of bones, human skulls. Searching through the remains, you disturb one of the human skulls, which rolls off the stone clatters to the floor. Beneath it, you find a scrap of paper. The page compartment is faded and covered in drops of long-dried blood. It reads, "This awful place. What have I done? What have I become? Please forgive me." Alright, let's head west. The floor has collapsed into the hallway ahead, which is flooded with stagnant, murky water. On the opposite side lies an ornate door. You peer into its depths and wonder what might lie in waiting just beneath the shimmering surface. Hold on. Everything just bugged out on me. Chunks of rubble are crumbling off the side of the wall by the edge of the walkway. Check out the rubble. Pick up a fist-sized hunk of rubble and hurl it into the water. It splashes, then it sinks. The water's surface comes splashing like as something makes quick work of the rubble. Quickly skirt around the edges of the watery corridor while the unknown beast is distracted. Interesting. Beyond the ornate door, you enter a nicer room. The stone is more chiseled and refined. Red tapestries hang on the walls, and the decor is a comforting upgrade from the dank, crumbling corridors you just crawled out of. 4 tall display cases are positioned around the fancy chamber. Stair leading to a door in the north, a smaller closet door to the east, a passage license. Okay, that's display cases. At a cursory glance, the towering display cases appear to be filled with greenish fluid. There's also something else inside them, too. Investigate display number 1. Preserved within the green fluid is a desiccated corpse that looks like it might once have been human. It's missing both arms. The body's one remaining leg is tethered by a chain lashed to the base of the display. The mouth has been crudely sewn shut, and a cluster of worm-like creatures are floating out from gaps in the stitching. Fun. Investigate display number 2. Find a wolf-like creature hanging upside down in the green fluid. Its poorly stitched stomach cavity is burst open inside the display, with ropes of long, stringy worms floating out from it alongside its entrails. Looking more closely at the gruesome display, you notice the creature's eye twitch and blink. So they're alive. 2 severed human torsos have been stitched together in a gory mirror image at the waist. Ropey clusters of worms are spilling out from the seam. This one is empty, drained of its fluid and lacking a grisly companion within. Oh god, I'm gonna wind up in there. Smaller closet door to the east. The door is locked. Alright, let's head north. You walk up the small stairs, open the door and enter a sitting chamber. The clanking of chains draws you further into the room. Bound to a throne resting at the far wall of the chamber, you find a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bird. It looks off into the distance, unblinking. There's also a large door to the west, and the door you entered in to the south. Let's approach the creature. As you step closer, the creature speaks with a slow, raspy cadence. I feel a presence. What is it? What is it? Oh, what could it want with me? Little me shackled away in these filthy metal irons. Filthy little irons to hold my flesh and bone. It is a strange thing indeed. So very strange and fleshy it is. It reeks of otherworld, doesn't it? Little me wonders why it stands there, poised with some unknown purpose. The thump, thump, thump of its heart beats a hair faster now, doesn't it? Like the tap, tap, tap of ticking time. What manner of fluid flows beneath its skin, wonders little me. Its breath is tinged with wicked curiosity. What, oh what, could it want with little me, then? Does it seek to put the sharpness to my flesh and spill my essence to the floor? Does it take my shiny? Does it feed me the delicious sweet nectar I crave? I miss it so dearly. Perhaps it has something else in mind for little me. So I'm pretty sure that's the nectar from over here. Treacherous, it teases little me with its lies. Poor little me with no sweet nectar to drink, it returns when it has something sweet for me. Let's check out the large door to the west before we head all the way back down there. Every door is decorated with scratch marks and dried blood stains. It's locked. Alright, south. Passage lies to the south. Turn to the southeast. Southern door, west. There's no, yeah, go back. West. Western passage. That is substance. What? Okay, let's head to the north. Move room to the south, east. East, north, sharp hooks, Um, Pile of bones. Let's try and get the skull. I bet I could start to wonder if fiddling around with human remains is going to become your thing. Creepy. Okay, west. Ornate door. Bird creature. The next to come. Waiting here. Always waiting for the next to come and play. Something else in mind. What could possibly, will they free the bird creature? Reach out and test the strength of its chains, and the creature gets anxious. It wishes to set me free? Oh yes, that is very good. What will you use to break the chains? The rusty knife? Knife isn't sharp or strong enough to break the chain free of the creature. It needs something else. Search around for something big enough to smash the chains with. Nothing yet. Search more. Still nothing. Yeah. You search around for something big enough to smash. Behind the throne you find a dislodged piece of stone. This might be big enough. Reach out and test the strength of its chains, and the creature gets anxious. Large rock. You have the large stone smash the chain until it finally snaps. I bet I'm gonna fight the bird now. Sudden flurry of excitement washes over the creature. It frees little me. What a delight. Then it looks up and cocks its head at an odd angle, rising to its full height. Given hunched over, the creature is much taller than it first seemed. Looks down at its hands and it flexes each talon finger. It will make such a pretty addition. Oh, before you react, the creature is upon you with lightning speed, hungrily tearing its beak into your flesh. You've perished in one of many horrible ways. Try again and seek to change your fate. The end. You start. Alright. Skips right to the first dungeon area. So, okay, we'll continue quickly. Grab our stuff. I knew freeing it was probably terrible, but hey, wanted to try it. Let's head east. Is that citrus? East. Alcove. Reach into. Activate the switch. Back. East. Fight to survive. Pretend you encounter a dripping sacrifice. That's a lot more powerful than we. Then. Ooh. Battle continues. Oh, yeah, it hit me. Ouch. Attack it. You slaying the dripping sacrifice. Survive the encounter and you absorb the blood of your fallen adversary and feel invigorated. Alright, let's head north. Pile of bones. Bones. Feel compelled to sift through someone else's remains. Got my knife. Pile of bones. Skulls. Scrap of paper. Here's the soft voice. Please forgive me. Sharp hooks. Back. West. Proceed to the other side. Wading cautiously in the water, you catch a glimpse of something moving. Draw your rusty knife just in time to fight back. Something grabs a hold and drags you beneath the water's surface. Slice frantically at the tentacles and manage. Oh, I lost my knife. That sucks. Southeast. West. West. Western Passage. Western Passage. Yeah, just let me do anything with the red substance. Open door to the north. Yeah, there's nothing in there. I don't think I can actually bring him... any of the stuff he craves west. Ornate door. Into a door on the north. Creature. Raspy cadence. Presence. What is it? My shiny. Does it comes from my shiny? You took the necklace free from the bird creature's neck. Now it searches for my sweetness. Lead to the south. You unlock the door and creep into the large closet, which appears to be home to many strange vials and instruments of some dark alchemy. You rummage around the detritus and find a small wooden bowl. Okay. So what if I did this and I try to free him, if it'll change anything? Collect the red fluid. Generous amount of sticky red goo. Take a sip of the dark amber liquid. You put the bowl to your lips and take a sip of the unknown liquid. It tastes like syrupy sweet heaven, but after a few seconds the titillated taste buds on your tongue turns to pure molten fire. Your lips, mouth, throat, and stomach feel as if you've been fed a steady diet of nails and turpentine. Spend the next few moments writhing on the ground, choking in pain and gasping for air. Then it soon fades, and you can function again. You immediately crave more of the delicious but agony-inducing mystery substance. Yeah, let's take another sip. Let's see. A single taste is enough. You brace yourself for what's to come, yet your mouth waters in anticipation. What am I doing? Why can't I stop? You succumb to the overpowering desire and bring the bowl to your lips once more. Again, your body erupts with molten fire from within. Okay, let's see if this will eventually kill me. I just want to see. And gulping down the last drops. Giving in fully to the thrall, let it wash over you. Your body collapses and engages in a sinister dance along the floor. It shimmies, snakes, and lurches. Blood pools your ears, nose, and mouth, but your contentment is so great that you care little as your eyes roll back into your skull. As your organs and flesh begin to dissolve, you drift off to oblivion. All right. I like this. All right, let's continue through. Chapter 1, Why the Walls Bleed. Wooden door. East, alcove, reach into a hole. Reach into the hole and immediately recall the teeming mass of stinging biting ants and swarms of your own. It takes a minute to fling them off. Okay, alcove, reach into. Okay, so it's random. Alright. East, north, pile of bones, poke around the bone heap. We get our knife, we get our knife. Alright. Sharp hooks. Nope. Let's check out the human skulls. Scrap of paper. Okay. West. Rubble. Throw the rubble. Alright. Let's check the display cases just to be safe. Because something changed. Sever torsos. Alright, let's head to the north, talk to the creature. Presence, what is it? What can you want with me? Let me check away. Strange thing. Where's from the fleshy weeks of other world. Unknown purpose, pizza here, fast, death, look at curiosity. What oh, what could it want with me? Alright, let's bring in the delicious sweet neck. Oh, let's take the shiny. To the south, door to the east. Found closet key and a wooden bowl. South, southeast, south, west, west, west. Collect the red substance. Red goo. Store the bowl and head for the throne room. East, east, north, west. Ornate door. North. Bird creature. What could it possibly require? A little waiting here, always waiting for the next to come in place. So does it feed me the delicious sweet nectar I crave and miss it so dearly? Smell that it has brought me something nice. Will give me a taste of the sweetness to the little me. Yes, the sweetness. Bring the bowl of sticky red fluid to its beak. The creature takes a sip. A moment of pure ecstasy washes over its face. Then it writhes and convulses with a sickening gurgle as it strains against the chains. After a moment of this, the convulsions subside. It gives little me another sweet taste, please, the creature rasped. Sure. Yes. Again, the creature hungrily swallows another gulp with newfound desperation. This is followed by another bout of writhing, more violent than before. The creature looks pale and sickly now. More. It gives little me more? Yes. The bird creature writhes in agony one last time, twitches, jerks his head to the side, then stops moving. For a moment of stillness, the creature's skin pulsates and begins to liquefy. You look closer at the bleached bones of the bird's skeletal remains and notice a strange object in the pile. It's another key, larger than the first. You grab the larger key. Bird's large corpse rests on the throne, peacefully. Large door to the west. Let's try the key. Place the key in the lock. It fits. You unlock the door and the key immediately crumbles away to dust in your hands. Enter the door. Step through the doorway and enter into a sprawling cavern. The door slams shut behind you and disappears. The floor drops off in a sharp cliff up ahead, though you can't see what lies beyond. A dim reddish glow illuminates the cavern walls beyond the precipice. You also hear a roiling gurgle and bubbling sound echoing from the path ahead. Approach the edge. As you creep closer to the edge, a thunderous howl reverberates through the cavern. You look down at the sickening mass writhing below. Oh! The cave floor on the ground below is almost entirely covered in a mixture of slime and thick, ropey strands of mucus. A giant worm-like beast is perched on the far side of the cavern, belching blasts of a sweet-smelling red substance from a putrid orifice. Oh God, this is his hunting technique. He gets creatures to eat that. It's immediately addictive. They eat more of it. They dissolve, and he eats them, I bet. The vile liquid flows outward from its pulsating flame and pools to the opposite end of the cavern. You watch it slowly drain into a hole in the wall, traveling to the deeper reaches of the underground realm. The massive creature undulates and writhes every few seconds, releasing more of the noxious fluid. Another howl from the beast echoes through the chamber. It's partially blocking the path ahead. Climb down to invest. Look around the upper cavern. You now scan the nooks and crannies of the upper cavern. The beast howls again, shaking the cavern walls. It knocks loose a few fist-sized stones along the wall. You also notice a narrow ledge you didn't see before. It appears to creep around the side of the cavern, but you can't see where it leads. Picking up a stone, you consider your options. Hurl the stone. Hurl the stone. After the sizable stone, you line up and fling it towards the hulking worm beast. Narrowly misses, clatter into the wall. Next to the creature, the rock attracted its attention. Let's hurl another. Launch another heavy rock in the air. This time it strikes the beast directly, spurring the creature to howl and twitch in fury. In its anger, the beast slithers its mighty girth a few steps closer to the ooze pit, leaving a narrow path between its mucus-slathered frame and the far wall. Let's climb down and investigate. The cliff is steep. It's a far drop. Grasping the lip, you slink over the edge and begin lowering yourself down the rocky wall. You reach the halfway point when your fingers slip. The forceful impact knocks the wind out of you and sends your sparse possessions skittering into the pool of sticky red fluid. Oh, crap. Luckily, the worm appears not to notice your tumble. That or it doesn't care. For the moment. There's a narrow mucus-filled path along the wall where the worm once lay. It's tight fit, but you may be able to get by with some care. Let's not wade through the pool of red liquid. If the worm is distracted by its liquid vomit cycle, you gingerly creep around the far wall. Stepping over the thick yellow strands of mucus is a challenge. You hold your breath and clamp your mouth shut to keep the bile down. You make it through, alive, miraculous. Quietly, you proceed past the worm, past the ooze, and onto the stairway beyond. So I lost all my gear. To descend the rough-hewn cave passage gives way to stylized arches and chisels, something that draw you closer into a well-lit chamber ahead. Torches illuminate the entire length of the decadently adorned hall. A series of gallery paintings are hung along the north wall, while a towering statue stands watch over the far eastern wall. Let's check out the paintings. A trio of paintings rest on the wall, each depicting a scene. One, a small silver plaque below the painting reads, "The Silent Library." So there is a guy with a scythe, looks like a cloak or a cave ahead, and a book. Touch the painting. Reach out and touch the canvas. The moment your finger makes contact with the aged paint, the room spins into a blur. Knots coil in your stomach as your body is wrenched into the air. When the world stops spinning and you regain your consciousness, you find yourself in a study brimming with books. A warm glow emanates from the crackling fire. You're tempted to recline in one of the fine leather chairs, positioning your stacks of books in this well-stocked study. A piece of singed parchment rests on a small table by the fire. Let's check out the singed parchment. It reads, Chapter 2, Texts of Damnation. Back. Books. Several books with intriguing titles stand out from the rest. Select a book to read. The Sting of Passion, The Creeping Doom, nothing like that. Let's check out The Creeping Doom. It's a handwritten series of diary entries penned by a lone explorer who finds something amiss in the deep forest. Continue reading. Become engrossed in a particular passage. Day 12. My trek through the azure forest has been far from uneventful. Today, the East River current caught me in crossing, and it was a full 15 minutes later that I managed to snag a passing branch downstream and hoist myself to the riverbank, dripping head to toe. I write this entry, I'm sure, to the great amusement of nearby woodland creatures, in my birthday suit while my clothes dry by the fire. I do hope they'd hurry up and get on with it soon. This log is chafing my backside, not a great end to an otherwise productive day. Day 13. Today's shortcut through the swamps was unexpectedly unpleasant. What a reeky bog. But I believe it will be worth the effort should it shave a few days' hike off my path to the base of Mount Greybund. I hope to begin my ascent as soon as possible. Unfortunately, Mother Nature has a warped sense of humor. I'm being bitten all to hell by mammoth-sized mosquitoes, and I seem to be developing some sort of aggressive rash on my posterior. Perhaps the guy caught a touch of the poison oak after yesterday's watery shenanigans. Day 14. Starting to feel a bit sore down there. On a whim, I dug out my shaving mirror to have a look at my aching bum, and what do you know, it's covered in red welts. Looks like some kind of nasty bites of some sort. Itchy bastards, too. Day 16. I must have gotten a little turned around after my swamp excursion, because I don't appear to be anywhere near the proper base of the mountain. The forest is thicker around these parts, too, which makes it hard to get my bearings. Also, last night I woke to a start when I felt something crawling on me. It gave me the heebie-jeebies, but after I bolted up and pranced around like a fool, I couldn't find anything there. Curious. There's something living in his butt. Day 17. Finally found my way to a nice grassy clearing, but tripped over something and twisted my ankle. When I went to investigate, I found the skeletal remains of some kind of deer-like creature. Gross. Decided to make my camp here anyway because I'm sick of pine pitch and pokey branches. Some intrepid explorer I turned out to be. Day 18. I'm beginning to think the cartographer was on some kind of psychedelic herb when he sketched this particular map. It feels like I'm going in circles. I also noticed something peculiar today, but I can't quite put my finger on it. The trees just looked a little funny. Maybe I'm getting delirious from eating nothing but canned beans and squirrel meat. Maybe I'll sprout buck teeth and develop a taste for acorns. At least the welts in my ass are healing up nicely. Day 21. Finally. I think I found my way back on track here. Things are looking up, eh? I like those nasty bites have returned. They spread. Hurts like hell now. This is no joke. Something is not right here. The sounds of the forest seem to have gotten louder, too. I keep thinking I'm seeing things out of the corner of my eye. When I turn, there's nothing there. Am I going batty? I think it's time to bag this trip and head back to civilization. Screw the mountain. 25. I don't know where they're coming from, but they're all over me, and they've changed. They're like big bulbous pimples or something. Awful, awful, awful. I need to get to a medic. I need out of here. My name's getting more scribbled and harder to read. I don't know where they're coming from, but they're everywhere. I've been retching blood, have a fever. I don't think I'm going to make it. I can barely make out this passage. One of the damn things popped open on my arm and something crawled out. God help me, they're all over. I don't know what's happened. That's the last entry. Close the book. Alright, let's see if The Sting of Passion is any better. This book is titled The Sting of Passion. It describes the exploits of a lustful empress whose thirst runs deeper than mere carnal pleasures of the flesh. Ooh, is she a cannibal? You become engrossed in a particular passage. Every third moon, Lady Ballantine issued a call throughout the kingdom seeking suitors to satiate her particular desires. So powerful was her allure, her dark majesty, that dozens of able-bodied men and women would flock to the gates of her spire and bear themselves, without shame or hesitation, for her meticulous scrutiny. The most pleasing of whom were selected and granted entrance to her palace, where they were stripped, washed, and anointed in preparation. In small groups, the devotees would be led to the Empress's private chamber, which would echo with screams of passion for hours on end. Without fail, they proved eager, attentive lovers, their bodies pressed against the Empress en masse in writhing ecstasy, entangled in the thrall of their fatal pleasures. For when each participant reached the height of passion, their beloved Empress would caress them lovingly as she produced a sharp blade and drove it deep inside them, lapping up their crimson essence and running her fingers through their gaping wound as the life spilled forth from them. Despite the glimpse of their impending fate, the evening's proceedings continued until one after another each devotee eagerly succumbed to the Empress's unflinching need. So is she a vampire, sort of? And when the final breath rattled free from the last pair of lips, all that remained was the Empress, cloaked in their entrails and flushed with a gleaming power none could resist. Close the book. Alright. That was less scary and more just a little slightly disturbing. I see nothing left to give. This book is still nothing left to give. It describes a young couple's struggle for survival lost in an Arctic storm. Okay, this is probably about cannibalism. I'm going to get one about cannibalism. Find yourself captivated by a particular passage. Deanna knew her injuries would slow them down, and the growing pain on her side was nearly too much to bear. Without food or water, they had little chance to make it back to shelter and weather the storm in this weakened state. They had been wandering for days, unable to regain their bearings in the tundra wastes. The howling winds kissed their frostbitten cheeks as blinding snow threatened to engulf them in its icy embrace for eternity. It was the numbness creeping into their extremities, slowly at first, then with a quickening finality that most alarmed them. And the couple pushed onward, in spite of the inevitable, grasping for a sliver of hope. Shaman knew Deanna's strength, her slipping health, her will to continue on was fading fast. His own was faltering too. The last remains of daylight seeped away into the wintry void. They were lost. Weary from exhaustion, the couple found a lean-to amidst a copse of barren trees and collapsed in the snow. They huddled together to try to echo out every bit of warmth from their bodies. Yaman built a small fire using the last of his tinder. It was a struggle, but they needed to eat. Delirious with hunger and weak from her injuries, Deanna's vision slipped in and out of focus. She remembered Jamon and mentioning food. They were all out of anything to eat. It had been so long since she had a nice warm meal. Hunger gnawed at the hazy edges of her consciousness. He just shuffled off into the darkness. Was it a hallucination? The pop of the fire awoke Deanna from her feverish slumber. The smell of cooking meat set her stomach aflutter. Can't believe it, but I caught us a rabbit, he said, in response to her sudden stirring. It's almost ready. Too weak and groggy to move, Deanna's excitement grew when the warm chewiness of cooked rabbit met her lips. She hadn't expected to eat another meal, given their dire situation. Okay, either he cut off her frostbitten bits, or he cut off his own frostbitten bits. Ramon winced a smile, just as a blast of Arctic wind rattled the fire. Eat up. This is all for you. You need your strength. I'll be fine. He refused to eat, despite her weak protests. I love you, he whispered, and fed her another portion. That night, Deanna slept with a deep peace, a serenity she hadn't recalled in weeks. By morning, the storm had cleared, leaving a blue sky and sun-drenched brightness in the wake of a tumultuous night. When Deanna opened her eyes, she saw smoke from the settlement campfire not far off in the distance. Look, we're not far. We're going to make it, I replied. She summoned the strength to sit upright and look around. Yaman was propped up on the opposite side of the campfire. His eyes were open, but he wouldn't respond. Yaman? It wasn't until she rose and stepped toward him that she saw the knife in the snow and the bed of crimson splayed out round Yaman. He lay pale and motionless, gazing unblinking towards the bright sunny sky. She broke free from the shock. Deanna howled in anguish, tears freezing in her face as she dove to Yaman's side, clutching his parka and shook him. No. She felt his body, noticed a tear in his pant leg, which was wrapped with a scarf and soaked in blood. Pulling back the clock, she found chunks of Yaman's leg missing, cleaved away in tiny chunks. Her jaw dropped. She stammered and recoiled, clutching her chest. There were no signs of Rabbit in sight. Elizabeth, yeah, okay, so he fed her bits of himself. Let's head to the north. All the warmth and splendor of the cozy study vanishes as you find yourself in a sprawling library choked with stacks of old tomes and a thick layer of dust. Time has been less kind to this ancient repository. The air in this dilapidated library vibrates with a foreboding energy. Silent words whisper forth from the pages, calling to you. Piles of old books are stacked across a large desk on the north wall. Dusty bookshelves buckling under the weight of vast knowledge rest against the west wall and the east wall. Sylvan door returns to the study. Let's check the west wall. The endless parade of tomes with grim, peculiar titles surround along the massive bookshelf on this wall. Select a book to read. Demonic entities from beyond. A primer. Psionics and defense from psychic attack. A summoner, initiate's grimoire. The codes and symbols. This almost feels like a character creation thing. Let's check a summoner initiate's thing. Summoner initiate's grimoire. Read this book. Walking the path of the summoner initiate is a dangerous prospect to those not of the utmost soundness in mind, body, and spirit. Demonic entities slithering beyond the veil are eager tricksters, waiting for every opportunity to possess the living. Those that walk in the darkness, the rest of the pages are torn and singed. Curious. Tone to read Demonic Entities from Beyond, a primer. It's labeled Demonic Entities from Beyond, a primer. Read this book. The Great One, the Divine Servant, is known by many names in different forms, yet all visages and incarnations are but facets of a gleaming crystal, many faces of the one true form. It is wise for any who seek to be touched by the cosmic might, know intimately of its shapes and aspects. Abrax, known by other names, the Gatekeeper, to the Traveler, Dweller of the Void. It is said when the planar spheres collide, the 13th gate will open between worlds. This is the knowledge of a kingdom of Abrax, a swirling void of temporal echoes. Should this aspect choose to emerge, it will require a willing penance of vitality from the summoner, though it may fully consume the unwary. Zerasul, known by other names, the Seducer, Keeper of Secrets, the Forgotten Fire. Beyond the 6th gate lies the domain of Zerasul, a burning plain awash in a sea of souls churning endlessly in turbulent motion. This aspect will appear in a form it believes will speak to your inner heart. Beware its captivating pull lest you be consumed by its fire. Orthal, known by other names, the Corrupter, Abominate Son, Collector of Elements. When your heart is weaker than your mind, you become susceptible. It is here through the 11th gate where you will find the cursed domain of Orthal. Eager to bestow the wishes of the one who summoned it, this aspect may seek something in return. Bathra, known by other names, the Destroyer, Eater of Souls, the Great Ender. When the howls of suffering reach a crescendo, the 3rd gate will appear and Bathros will make itself known. Cruelty and suffering are the poetry of this malevolent aspect, though it may err on the side of benevolence should it be appeased. Kilal, known by other names, the Transmuter, Shapeshifter, Adept, the Puzzle Keeper. The realm of Kilal lies between the 2nd and 8th gates, which merge into a single doorway opening the path to its obfuscated domain. Do not be surprised by deceit from this aspect, which is known for dooming summoners incapable of solving its arcane conundrums. Close the book. Like, that could possibly be a useful thing. Psionics and defense from psychic attack. This book is A simple serenity of mind is a prime requisite for building a foundation of proper defense against psychic attack from man, demon, and beast alike. Practice in clearing all thought and stilling the consciousness is necessary to begin layering a protective mental state. With this skill achieved, the next step is to erect a mental barrier to strengthen one's psychic armor. Hone it into an impenetrable field that flows as an outer layer throughout your body. Take care to confine yourself to periods of rest and social confinement during the initial improvement of this process, else it's possible to weaken the psyche through exhaustion and become susceptible to attack. Alright. I could see those being useful. Possible books step across a large desk on the north wall. The heavy desk is adorned with carvings of demonic entities or runic symbols. Piles of thick tomes are glittered across its aging surface, which also bears several deep claw marks tracing a path off to the edge to one side. Tomes. It's a miracle these texts have stood the test of time. Their brittle pages seem held together by some unknown force. The book to read. Prayers to the Cosmic Serpent Divine. Tools of Magic. Okay, let's check out Tools of Magic. In the pursuits of ancient magic, one cannot properly control the powerful forces at work beyond the veil without the correct instruments. Such is the need for appropriate tools to harness and conduct the elements during the rituals of magic. Bell. A summoner's tool, the bell is rung to break the silence between the physical plane and the immaterial realm, opening the door for entities to step through. A thane. This ritual knife is used to direct energies to your bidding, though it also doubles as a tool for bloodletting when the need arises. Candles. The candle is a beacon of light in the sea of darkness. It signifies hope, fire, and intent in the dualities of the universe. It can attract and repel a variety of otherworldly forces. Next tool, salt. A great purifier, salt has powerful cleansing and protective properties. Most often it's used in consecration and drawing magical circles or symbols. Rope. Used in binding rituals, the rope is alternatively a useful tool for holding forces at bay or unlocking the doors to your deeper consciousness. Interesting. Okay. Press the Cosmic Divine Serpent. Expression Bay and the Dark Crimson Ink. Twined in your veins, Dark Father, I am a riddle unsolved, a crucible of burnt offerings. Let my smoke rise to the heavens and seep into the deep valleys below. Breathe me in eternally. Let my blood be your blood, let my tongue be your tongue, as I speak thy name and summon forth the locust to strip away my flesh. For light is the darkness, and the aged ones await rotting to consume the world anew, feasting on themselves in anticipation of the glut to come. Emerge once again from your chrysalis, stretch muscle, bone, and talon, sharpen your teeth on the fair city below, for your faithful will await the third coming of your ceaseless presence. Okay. Mechanics of the invisible world. The unseen world is home to many secrets, some caused by forces of wayward energies and some made by man. It's the combination of the two that can yield the most interesting results. Imbuing simple mechanical devices with arcane energy allows you to control their effect and manipulate them through invisible triggers, like a word, a sound, a command, or even the interaction between remote mechanical objects linked by pure energy. Using magic to manipulate such artifacts is no simple task. Tremendous will and discipline are required to channel arcane forces into a physical object in such a way that will retain its spiritual charge. The ritual can take days to perform correctly, but once complete, it will produce a powerful artifact that can be shaped to the user's will, providing protection, concealment, or practical innovation. Close the book. Alright. Back. Desk. Far side of the desk, you find a large drawer. The lock's keyhole is situated inside the mouth of a fanged human skull carving. Okay. East wall. Books. Select a book to read. These do not look interesting to me. Let's try reading this book. Interface, rendering it unreadable. Said the words there is no law is written thousands of times across the original text, covering every inch of every page. Alright, let's try portals and the dimensional veil. Read this book. Dimensional disparate realms can be rife with consequence. Disrupting the balance between juxtaposing realities in too great a manner is perilous to both the conjurer and the greater continuum beyond. Small dimensional rifts channeled through ley lines within a given plane are useful for traveling great distances in short order. These minor portals are less dangerous to craft and maintain, and their practical application is of tremendous use. It's when the divide between alternate planes of existence is breached, however, that events of the most catastrophic nature can unfold. Should an entity attempt to transgress the planar order and occupy the same sphere of influence as its opposite self, resulting paradox can result in untold damage to the fabric of time and space. Okay, hopefully this last book unlocks a secret door. Book of Fraud and Fakery. Clever. It appears that this book is entirely blank inside. Flips the pages anyway. Halfway through the book, you find a secret compartment hollowed out in the pages. Inside the secret compartment, you find a small key carved out of a human finger bone. Okay, let's check the desk. North wall, desk, use the bone key. Place the bone key in the lock and turn it until you hear a little click. Skull carving swings to life and bites down on the fragile bone key, snapping it off the lock permanently. The desk drawer is unlocked. Examine its contents. Inside the drawer you find a small silver bell and a bag of salt. There's a strange marking inside one of the drawers. Carved into the wood of the desk drawer, you find an ancient symbol that exudes an electric current that raises the hair on your arm as your hand draws near. As your fingers touch the ancient notches in the wood, a faint tingle races through your veins. You hear a strange click from the western wall of the library, and the feeling passes. The western wall. West wall. One of the books has been pushed forward out of place. Push it back in. Push the book back in and hear a rumbling sound coming from the study to the south. An endless parade of tones is going. Okay. Let's return to the study. Small panels open at the wall above the fireplace, revealing a button. Push the button. Press the button and a low rumble is heard in the ancient library to the north. Okay, draw to the north. Okay, let's check the east wall. Bookcase has shifted inside to reveal a secret passage leading downwards. Okay. The smell of decay wafts from below, and you descend the staircase. A crisscrossing network of long scratch marks are clawed along the descending passage. You hear something creeping up the stairs towards you. Another dripping sacrifice. Alright, let's do this. Strike. As you battle continues, attack. Strike. Battle continues, attack. Just keep going. I don't actually have any other way to do anything else yet, so. Attack. Battle continues, attack. You have slain the dripping sacrifice, so I can counter and absorb the blood of your fallen adversary and feel invigorated. Okay. Stairs lead up to the west and down to the east. The faint whisper echoes from down the stairs to the north. The trail of scratch marks continues around the corner and down the stairs to the south. Let's head to the south and see what the claws are from. The atmosphere grows heavier as you round the corner and continue down the stairwell. With each step further, the staircase feels a little colder. The hair on the back of your neck perks up. Stairs go down to the west and upwards to the north. It's immediately clear that this room has borne witness to many awful happenings. You can feel a dark, powerful residual energy lingering through this chamber. Deep gouges, dried blood stains, and singe marks on the stone walls and floor weave an unspoken chronicle of ancient rituals, sacrifice, and otherworldly encounters. The side walls of this grim ritual chamber are lined with narrow cabinets. There's a large altar along the south wall. Stairs in the northeast corner lead up. Let's check the cabinets. Once well stocked, these old cabinets are now mostly littered with old dusty herbs and a violent assortment of bottled ingredients. Meticulous searching doesn't come up completely empty-handed, however. One drawer contains a stack of half-burned candles. Another holds a small pouch with a key. Check with the large altar. You do not have all the things necessary to conduct a ritual. That's fine. Need an athame. I hope I'm not screwed because I lost the knife. That would suck. Your whispers coming from the chamber down the stairs to the west. Sounds like it's saying give. Okay, west. The moment your foot crosses the threshold, the whispers stop. At the far end of the room, you notice a glass display case from the exit to the east. Looking through the protective glass enclosing the top of the case, you see a book inside. It's bound in an unusual blood-red leather and inscribed with the image of a demon on its cover. At the base of the display, there appears to be a compartment. You use the tiny key on the display, yes. You unlock the case. Turn the flips open to reveal a sharp ritual dagger resting next to a stone siphon that drains deeper into the base of the display. The siphon bowl is carved into the shape of a gasping demonic maw. Etched into the stone code of the ritual athame are simply the words give. Give blood. Slicing a gash in your hand with a knife, you let the blood flow freely into the demon's siphon mouth. Within seconds, the stone carving's eyes glow bright crimson, and the glass case holding the book shudders, then melts away into nothingness. Demonic Invocation, the Book of Rituals, now required to successfully summon the various aspects of the Divine Serpent. Invocation of the First Form. Awful the Brax, the Pearl. Interesting. Oof. Suffering scream, drink of pain, drug of mouth, wakes in the taste of my agony. Fourth form. Our fires burn as one, dark tempter, show your form that I may marvel in its divine splendor. All of your challenge will be absolved through your ancient knowledge and hard work. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of cool. West Wall, I kind of want to check out the primer thing. I think that tells me about the different entities in this book. Should this aspect choose to emerge, it will require a willing penance of vitality. So Abrax will take my life force. Zerasul, please, will speak to your inner heart, but where its captivating pulse, you be consumed by fire. Which is a Orthal might be good. Known by other names, Destroyer, Eater of Souls. Bathra is another one I might want to try. Okay, let's east wall, passage leading downwards, east, north, west. Display case. So the first one, he'll take some of my life force. The third one, so set candles in a cross arrangement. No, I have to be suffering for that. So fourth form, Zerasul. So star, twin symbol. I'm going to write this down. If I have a pen somewhere. Possibly. I don't have a pen. This is what Notepad is for. So, candle, star, salt, twin, ring 9, author hair, recite, fire, show your form so that I may marvel in its divine splendor. Alright, I'm not sure if I need to know all of that, but I'm gonna try and get us a ritual done before we're done for the day. South, west, large altar. Begin the ritual. As a star, the candles form the shape of the star, and the flesh of your palms aches with a mysterious suffering. Drawing of the ancient symbol is the next. The twin symbol. This looks like the twin symbol. I don't see anything else that would be a twin symbol. Well, the twin. Intonation of the summoning bell marks the next phase of the invocation ritual. How many times will you ring the bell? 9 times. Resonance of the bell stirs the darkness around you. Ritual now commands an offering of sacrifice be made to entice a response from the Dark Ones. Our hair. So now recite the passage. Our fires burn as one. We summon Zerasul. Flash of light momentarily blinds you, though soon you're greeted by the presence of Zerasul, who shifts forms, attempting to appeal to your innermost wants and needs. The entity doesn't speak. Instead, it walks nearer to you. With a look of desire, the entity reaches out to caress your face. Before you can resist, its lips meet yours, awakening heat within you. Its lips' tongue feels so good against yours. The entity embraces you more firmly, running its hands over your body. Your inhibitions quickly begin to weaken under its expert touch. Every second of contact with your skin sends you reeling inside. Resist the thrall. The urge to fight is quickly fading. You feebly try to break away. You find yourself hungry for Zerasul's touch. Breathless, you teeter on the precipice of desire. It awaits your choice. Break away and resist the thrall. Break free, your decision made. Zerasul gazes at you longingly, with a mix of desire and disappointment, then disappears before your eyes, cracking the altar in half. Dark, malevolent energy spews forth from the cracked altar. You're momentarily blinded by the brilliant flash of light. When you regain your sight, you find yourself back in the gallery. Ooh! Towering statue stands watch over. Alright. I think I'm going to call it here. I hope you enjoyed this. Like, share, and subscribe. I'll catch you all later. I might go through different iterations on my own to see what happens. But I'll definitely stream once I find anything cool from that stuff. Alright. Goodbye.